journal we've selected is the Journal of School Health. The current editor-in-chief, Dr. McDermott, describes the journal's focus on closing the gap between research and practice and supporting health initiatives for children and youth. The journal seeks to understand school health from the perspective of staff in various educational settings. Published 12 times a year, they use a broad definition of health, representing psychological and physical needs which may be identified within the school.
This journal is committed to communicating information regarding the role of schools in facilitating optimal growth and development of children and youth pre-K to 12 and encompasses a wide variety of areas such as physical education, social services, and family and community involvement. Researchers work cooperatively with parents and the community to achieve the common goal of providing the programs, services, and environmental necessary to promote healthy children and youth.
General articles and research articles are the two main types of manuscripts that can be submitted to the journal. General articles should provide systematic critical assessments of the literature and creative discussion of topics relevant to children and youth pre-K to 12th grade. Manuscript major sections include abstract background, literature review, implications for school health, and references.
Research articles can be original, data-based research that is quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods approach. The research can only be derived from pre-K to 12 issues. The format includes abstract, background, methods, results, conclusion, discussion, and implications for school health. The intent of the article is to inform school health decision and cause changes at the local school level.
The article that we have selected is Happiness in Motion, Emotions, Well-Being, and Active School Travel from 2014. It provides reasoning behind the importance of physical activity and emotional happiness, looking into active school travel and school travel planning. It is aligned with the current direction of the journal, the research methods, methods of data collection, sample selection, data analysis, and presentation of findings match the mission statement criteria.
The research method in this article implements a quantitative approach. Questionnaires were administered to families to ascertain a numeric description of emotion and well-being in relation to modes of travel. The variables included demographics, and the outcomes were perceived benefits of different travel modes.
The study involved parents and students of 76 schools and 5,423 students from K to 8, with complete data for all variables of interest from the Northwest Territories and all of Canadian province, with the exception of Quebec. Students completed a questionnaire at home with their parents. Active consent was obtained at the school level and family participation was voluntary.
Emotional perceptions, captured in 2 exploratory questionnaires for parents and children, included 12 emotions for parents to choose from and 8 for children. Outcomes measured were based on sustainable happiness in relation to school travel. The results were grouped based on physical well-being, emotional well-being, well-being of our community, and environmental well-being.
An Excel application was used to track data to determine descriptive characteristics, standard deviation, range, and percentage. Travel mode responses were dichotomized into passive variables of car, carpool, school bus, public transit, and other, and active variables of walking and bicycling. These were further separated into being accompanied by an adult and whether the emotions experienced were positive or negative.
Chi-square tests were used to examine the differences in adult and child emotions. Hierarchical regression was used to examine associations between 4 dimensions of well-being: physical, emotional, community, and environmental. 8 independent variables were examined: age, sex, distance to school, travel mode, variables for active travel, neighborhood safety, adult emotion, and child emotion.
The study found that students that traveled alone actively were more likely to have positive outlooks on all 4 outcomes measured. Conversely, students that had more passive travel had more negative views of their outcomes measured. In the discussion of its finding, the authors note there is growing interest in the making of the distinction between active or passive travel mode and travel independence.
The study recognized its various limitations. These included the fact that samples came largely from provinces involved in the Student Travel Plan pilot program. The survey was self-reported and completed at home, so parents may have influenced student answers. Due to the design, there remains an unknown element, which is, do parents encourage active travel because of its positive impacts, or do they receive positive impacts because of their travel?
The study concluded that active school travel should be a consideration as a curricular element of positive school health, and that school travel programs can provide a health benefit from active school travel. Findings suggest that future studies could be derived from this conclusion. For instance, it should examine whether active school travel causes these emotion benefits and whether they can explicitly link to educational outcomes.
This study provides a justification for why schools should promote active, safe travel and engage in safe routes to school programs. It includes the need for schools to research distances traveled in community and possible barriers involving parents and stimulating changes to the school environment with improved mental health.
It is important to recognize that the years we've selected may not be fully representative of all the changes that have occurred. However, it gives us a snapshot of significant changes. The new editor has helped us shift health education towards interventions designed to prevent or delay diseases and illnesses. Additionally, it intends to study modern lifestyle issues that impact K-12 stakeholders. This is narrowing of focus from earlier journal content.
Data periods from 3 separate years, 1984, 1999, and 2014, yielded a number of significant observations. Articles related to policy and administration have decreased from 37% to 6% over the last 30 years. The formerly dominant topic of school staff has shifted towards student concerns and issues. This is in line with the current editorial's beliefs and the mission statement moving towards prevention and lifestyles.
The data also reveals some trends about the content of the studies. Articles related to fitness, nutrition, injury prevention, safety, and psychological behavioral content have steadily increased. Earlier journals reflected broader social concerns that are no longer relevant to schooling. This confirms a move towards prevention and lifestyle alteration, and perhaps speaks to the greater concerns of our modern society.
Earlier journals demonstrated a disconnect between research and practice by providing separate lesson plans based off of research. Modern incarnations have dropped this feature as the journal moves towards closing the gap between research and practice. In some cases, earlier studies lacked the rigor that current articles possess.
Are these changes, shifts due to time and editors, authors, or has the mission statement positively impacted the quality of the articles? A tentative answer is the journal is trying to make its research more meaningful with school practice by recognizing the implications for K-12 stakeholders.
The journal has become more rigorous in its requirements, which has narrowed its focus to lifestyle change and disease and illness prevention and education. This aligns the journal with K-12 stakeholders, but more specifically to its impact on students. The journal is trying to narrow the gap between research and practice. Our examination of the results of a pan-Canadian study about a pilot project on the effects of active school travel helps support our view of the journal's changes and links it to their published mission statement.